To say for section 3.5, we're going to write an equation of the line with a given slope, that's your lowercase m, and y-intercept, that's your lowercase b. So if you know the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 3, what would the equation look like? Well, we all know y equals mx plus b. You're just plugging in the two things that they give you. So if your slope is 2, you put it there. If your y-intercept is 3, you put it there. And this is your answer. Y equals 2x plus 3. Very, very simple. We're going to skip down to number 4. Y is going to be equal to 3x minus 2. You could also put plus negative 2 if you wanted to. But I want to give you an example where your y-intercept was negative. Now, your slope could also be negative. That's just going to change the sign on the coefficient of x. Doesn't make the problem any more difficult. Number 6, if your slope is 1/2 and your y-intercept is negative 5, your equation is going to be y equals 1/2 x minus 5. Again, you could put plus negative 5 if you wanted to. Number 7, this is multiple choice. Which equation is an equation of the line in the graph? And this is a really nice problem because next you're going to be doing this on your own without the multiple choice option. So this kind of eases you into it. I can very easily see that I'm counting by 1 on my scale, on my coordinate plane there, and I can see that the graph crosses the y-axis at 2. So the y-intercept is going to be 2. So if I look, the y-intercept is 2 in all of these choices, which is nice, but at the same time, you don't eliminate any options. So you know the y-intercept is 2. That's how you figure it out. You just look at the graph. Now the next thing you need to do is find the slope, because that's what's different between all of these is the slope. So notice how we're going uphill. So if we're going uphill, you cannot have a negative slope. So just by looking at that, you're down to A or B. Now we're going to count. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3 units, and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3 units. So if you're up 3 and over 3, your slope is 3 over 3, which is 1 over 1. There's no number there, but remember that coefficient is 1, and 1 is the same thing as 1 over 1. So just be careful with that situation. Okay, let's try some that aren't multiple choice. Write the equation of the line shown. So your answer is going to be y equals something x plus something else. I can clearly see that my y-intercept is negative 1, so I'm going to put that there because my graph crosses the y-axis at negative 1. Now I'm going to count the slope. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go 2 to the right. Up 4, 2 to the right. That's your slope, 4 over 2. That's the same thing as 2 over 1. Now, we like to write our slopes as fractions, but when you're writing it in an equation, if you're taking a test or a standardized test like an SAT or something, they're not going to put 2 over 1x plus negative 1. They're going to put y equals 2x minus 1 most likely. So when you go to write your equation, you could put your slope in as a whole number. Let's look at number 10. One thing that stands out here between number 9 and number 10 is number 10 is now going downhill. So you know your slope is going to be negative. We're still counting by ones, and the y-intercept is 3. Your slope is, we're going to count down obviously, and then to the right because it's negative. We're going down 2 and to the right 4. Down 2 to the right 4. I reduce that to negative 1/2. Down 2, 4 to the right. Down 1, 2 to the right, same thing. Last one for this video, we'll look at number 13 again. We're going downhill. So your slope is going to be negative. The y-intercept is at positive 2. Now count your slope. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 to the right. Down 6, 2 to the right is the same thing as down 3, 1 to the right. And again, I didn't have to write it as a fraction. I could have just wrote negative 3x plus 2 if I wanted to.